Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Payload Pat, and today we're going to be doing something amazing. If you guys haven't known, I'm currently going to be sitting for my CKAD, my CKAD, and I've recently passed my CKA recently. So if you haven't seen a video on that, I'll go ahead and as far as link it somewhere in the description. Um, and essentially, what we're doing today is I'm going to be using the CKAD simulator, which is using killer.sh. I've done a video on the CKA. It's the same platform, just different questions in relation to the CKAD right now. So I hope you all learned something. I'm going to go over a few of these questions here with you, my thought process and my tips and tricks and how I was able to go ahead and get a 99 on the CKA. And hopefully I'm able to do something similar in the CKAD as well. So I hope you really enjoy. And if you have any questions, definitely leave a comment, and for sure like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content as well. So let's get started. So as we see here, I was able to go ahead and access the CKAD killer.sh platform. And to do that, all you need to do is you can either purchase this. I believe it's like 20 bucks. It's something like that. But I would recommend you, if you're going to be sitting for this exam, you might as well just pay for the exam. And this actually comes with the exam, right? So it gives you access to the environment for 36 hours. And you can redo the questions, restart them, and just go through the process. So it's exactly like the actual exam. So the same environment that you're in here is going to be exactly how it is here. So the same way that you see, you have to open up the terminal as well as open up the web browser. All those things are going to be exactly the same in the exam. So I would highly recommend, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not taking advantage of this. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is start off on a few questions. And yeah, I'll probably break this down into like questions, like 2 or 3 questions per section, or just do one question for the video. So it's a total of 20 questions, I believe, here, or 22. But yeah, let's go ahead and start tackling them. And yeah, let's go ahead and knock out the CKAD as well. I haven't seen a lot of videos on YouTube actually going over the CKAD here using killer.sh. So I thought, hey, why not take advantage of helping you all as I learn as well. So yeah, there's a need, and I wanted to go ahead and fill that need. So hopefully I do a great job at that. Enough talking. Let's go ahead and look at the first question here. And I want to make sure that this is very visible. I believe so. But what we have here today is the question saying the DevOps team would like to get the list of all namespaces in the cluster, get the list and save it to this particular file here, right? So first thing that we want to do is we don't have to set up any aliases as far as the k equals kubectl. It's already there. So if I just type in k, it automatically is available to use. So I'm going to do a k. Let's do get ns. And it says all namespaces, so it should pretty much give me all the namespaces within the cluster itself. So this is the first question. So let's go ahead and redirect that, or redirect this output to this file here where we're going to save it here. And let's paste that. So it is going to be namespaces. So let's go ahead and enter that. So let's go ahead and cat that, and it should return the same information there. And press enter, and there you have it. We do have all the namespaces set up in there. So that's the first question here. So very straightforward, very simple. So let's go ahead and move on to question 2. All right, so it's indicating here there's says create a single pod of image HTTPD and namespace default. The pod should be named pod1, and the container should be named pod1 container. Your manager would like to run a command manually on occasion to output the status of the exact pod. Please write a command that does this into opt course, and the command should use kubectl. So okay, that's fair enough. So first steps is let's go ahead and create this pod. So we're going to do a k run, and it says the name of the pod should be pod1. So make sure you are copying and pasting as much as you can here, and this is going to be similar to exam as well. The only difference is I believe it's going to be like links to particular sections in the Kubernetes documentation which you can use. So it should have like some similar options here where you can just easily click the hyperlinks. So enough with that. So we got the name pod1, and we're going to be using this image. So let's do dash image, and that's going to equal, again, right clicking, pasting, and then we're going to go ahead. We're already in a default namespace, so I don't have to specify that. And the container should be named pod1 container. So since it wants me to do that, I am going to use the dash dry run flag, and that's going to equal client. And this is going to allow me to go ahead and be able to create a manifest file from this here. So if most important thing is trying to create as much automation in this and like less manual work, copying, pasting things, like that's the best way to go about this exam. It will certainly save you some time. So let's go ahead and do client, and then I got to do the output YAML, and then let me redirect this to, I'll name this to.yaml. So I always recommend you specifying the question, you know, with the actual YAML file, so you can always go back and check your work if you have to go back to it. So let's go ahead and VI into that. And what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to rename this pod, and instead of it being the container being pod1, let's go ahead and change that so it matches the question requirements. So we're going to change the name of the container to pod1 container, and that looks good. So we created the pod, we have the image, the namespace is in default, so we don't have to specify that. The pod should be named pod1, it's named pod1 here, and yeah, the container is pod1 container. So that looks good. That was very straightforward. So let me go and escape, shift : X as an X-ray, and enter, and that's going to save that. And now I can go ahead and do a K create -F flag, and then the name of the file here. -F is just going to specify the file that we're going to be using. So let me go ahead and save that here, and we can do K get pods, and we see that pod is running pod1, right? Now it says it wants us to be able to run a command to manually output the status of that exact pod. So to do that here, we can do, just so you can see, I'm going to do kubectl get pod, and then pod1, and then I can do -output. I'm going to do output JSON, and that's a lot of gibberish, right? But we're looking specifically for something called, it said status, right? So let me scroll up here. So status, right? So the status that we're looking for specifically is, probably gonna have to zoom out on this, but this is the status state here that we're looking for. We're looking for this status of running, right? Because if I do, just to give you an example, if I do a kget pod1, it's the section here where it says status, right? And we're trying to get that status running here. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and use JSONPath. So I'm going to do output JSON, and then I can do JQ -C as in cars, and then paths. And there's a way that you can easily find it here. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll up to status, and it's going to be, I might have this zoomed in a little bit too much. Okay, oops. So again, we're looking for spec.status, I believe. I'm going to zoom out on this a little bit here on the view. Let's zoom out just one. And it's a little laggy here right now, so, and you may experience this in the exam as well. So actually shouldn't, yeah, it should be actually under status. Yeah, so status, okay, dot status. So let's just look for dot status, and then we can just break it down from there. So what I'm going to do here is -output JSON. We're going to use JSONPath. So JSONPath, and then that's going to equal, so we're going to do single curly bracket here, and then I'm going to do dot status, and then let's just see what we get. Oops. Wait, get pod 1 output, JSONPath. I think I put capital path, sorry. And then we got a lot of stuff, right? So specifically what we're looking for is the status of ready, right? Or running, I believe. So let's go ahead and I can do this here. Let's do pipe grep minus I running. Okay, so we see this phase running, right? So that looks good here. So state actually is going to be state running. So let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to do minus output JSONPath and then status dot state. And let's see if it gives us anything. No, did I do it wrong? Dot phase. Okay, stop phase, sorry. So we can now go ahead and we have our command. So now we just need to go ahead and I need to go to the beginning of my file here. And I don't know why it's doing that, but K is going to be kubectl. So kubectl get pod. So I'm going to do an echo. So echo, and then this thing is just a mess now. I don't know why I did all of that. Okay, so I'm gonna do echo. Then I'm gonna put it in double quotes, kubectl get pod, and then close this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and redirect that to this file here, but I'm gonna go ahead and just append it because I don't know what's in that file. So let's just do that. All right, perfect. And then now I'm going to simply go ahead and change mod plus X, and then the name of that file again. So I'm just going to paste it so I can make it an executable file. So whenever I run this command now, it should come back and do the same running option. There you go. So now we have that command and it's using kubectl. So I just echoed that into this file here. So that was a long way around, but that's the solution to that. And yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to the next question. So